What's up, guys? Mad Rambles, episode 34. And as always, I'll introduce talking about things that I've been working on. That is coming up with an idea, enthusiasm, video professionalism, going into detail when talking about topics, a better video plan just so you get a gist of what I'm going to be talking about. Be more seated, less off-putting by my movements, especially on my chair, swiveling around. Adding a title, so when people come and click on the videos, they actually know what it's about. Also, I know what it's about, so I'm not just recreating the same old stuff. And posting immediately rather than waiting, trying to show more urgency in my life. So, today's video title, idea, is being humbly wrong. And as a man, I have an ego. I feel like fucking everyone does, whether they like to admit it or not. Whether that's good or bad, we all do. And sometimes it's hard to be humbly wrong. To just sit there and admit you're fucking wrong. And within that today, we're going to talk about admittance, the respect result going forward, and getting better as a result. And when I was younger, people used to critique me. People used to criticize what I was doing. Or just point out things that I was doing. Whether or not it was right, whether or not they were right to do it, I always took it in a negative way. I always feel like they were having a go at me, having a go at my work. I wasn't good enough, my shit wasn't right. You know, you put all this effort into something, and then someone comes along and slates it, and you're like, for fuck's sake, you know, you're pissed at them, you're pissed at yourself, I feel a little bit. But ultimately, you don't want to be pissed at yourself, so you target that anger towards them even more. And the reason why we do that is because it isn't fucking right to be wrong. It doesn't feel great to be wrong. And it doesn't feel nice to have to work on something. And it doesn't feel good to have worked on something and it to feel almost as if it was for nothing. But what I've learned in my life, and I'm definitely not mastered it, I'm trying to perfect it, but I'm saying it here because I found it useful and I found it's one of the best ways I've seen myself improve. It's just being humbly wrong. Just understanding that whatever you fucking do, you might not always be right. Especially if you're doing something and someone who is better than you at in the space is critiquing you. If you went and played football, right? There's one thing with someone in the stand saying you're shit, right? Because who the fuck are they? But still, think about it. I still think it's good to think about it, but not let it bog you down too much. But if someone who is an expert, Cristiano Ronaldo, comes around and says, mate, you're fucking shit, you got to fucking listen up. Because at the end of the day, the man knows tons about it. Or if Khabib comes out and starts talking about wrestling, and who am I to say that I'm a better wrestler? Because I'm fucking not, right? Not yet. But, you know, it's recognizing that you can always improve. And I think this is the basis of it. When you sit there and are comfortable with being told what to do, in the sense of told what to do to be better, I think that is really when you'll see success happening. Because a lot of times people will do something and they won't want someone to critique them. And if someone does critique them, they will not like it, they won't take it on board, they will hate the person. When in reality, they're just holding themselves back from truly being successful and truly seeing results. Because maybe, you know, say you're in the gym, you're benching, you got fucking shit form, mate. Your shoulders aren't back, you're fucking forward, your hands are like this, too close, right? And you're like fucking lifting it up like that. If you do it, and as soon as you go up the weight and you get an injury, that shit's your fault. But it could have been avoided if you listened to the guy who might have been a bit bigger, who was a PT, who came over to you weeks and weeks ago and said, mate, just try not to do that, do this, right? And there's also a way to tell people how to do stuff. I feel like so many people just sort of, when they see someone doing wrong, they're like, bro, that's fucking shit. Like I was doing copywriting in like this group of people. And you put your copy in there, people will review it. And this has helped me a lot to get better in just copywriting. But someone brought on it, like, oh, this is shit, bro. What kind of statement's that, mate? Not being able to be humbly wrong and critiquing someone shitly is almost as bad as each other. You're going to sit there and say, oh, bro, you're shit. You're as bad as the person who can't take the criticism, right? Because you need to learn how to actually give criticism and receive criticism, right? When you give criticism, you point out what someone's doing wrong, you point out how they can do it right, and you give an example, right? Show them how to do it. If it's in bench, you sit down, retract your scapula, push up, hands shoulder width apart, like here, and you go. Not just saying, mate, that was fucking shit. Because they don't fucking gain anything by doing that. You don't gain anything, you don't learn anything, you don't get better when you do that. But in the same breath, if someone takes that advice and be like, oh, fuck you, alright? Well, that's not good on me. I'm not fucking learning. But if I'm like, alright, cool. I've taken that knowledge, I've inputted it, I've sort of added it into my life, seen how I can do better, and then boom, do it. Oh, great. I can actually lift more because my form was better. And this can be put into any walk of life, not just fitness. And as a result, when you can humbly sit down there and sort of lower your ego to a degree and just sort of take in the criticism, people will respect you for that. Because not only will respect you because they'll see you getting better, and everyone who continuously gets better in any feat is admired. Right? If you're good in any feat, you are admired. But that only comes through taking the criticism and learning from it and applying it and growing from it. Right? Cristiano Ronaldo is only respected now because he took all the criticism from his coaches, Fergie, fucking Mourinho in Real Madrid, Ancelotti, because he took criticism from them years ago, right? He's only the player he is now because of that. If he just said, nah, fuck you, fuck all, right? Or if they were shit teachers and he did the same and said, fuck you, fuck off, he wouldn't have 5 Ballon d'Ors. He just wouldn't, right? Because he hasn't made the mistakes and he hasn't learned from them. And moreover, he hasn't learned from the mistakes faster than he could have done. Because when, like in the bench press analogy, when you're working out, pushing the weights, right, and you fail and you're doing it shitly and then you don't listen to the advice and you fucking fail and you hurt your back, then you've learned from it. But if you just listen to the guy before and implemented his teachings, you learn from it way quicker. So it's about the speed you learn from things. And that's why being humbly wrong is so important. And going forward, you'll just be better and better and better because you'll keep failing. And I think the more you fail, the more you get used to it. The difference is failing's okay, quitting isn't. There's an age-old thing, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan missed these amount, thousands of shots, right? He missed hundreds of buzzer beaters, all this type of stuff. He lost hundreds of games, not thousands. But the point was, he was able to learn from that, take the criticism, and apply it so that when it mattered, when he was on Game 6 in the championship games, he fucking won, right? He's in 1998, whenever, against the Utah Jazz, and he makes the buzzer beater to win. He did that because he listened to his coaches, and he applied it, and he learned from it, and he grew. So if you don't grow, you can't learn from it. If you can't learn from it, you don't get better. You're continuously getting better. So going forward, you really need to apply it. And then you'll keep learning your mistakes and it'll almost become normal. And then when you were before, what I've noticed for me is when I was years ago, I used to sit there and the slightest little thing, even if I was generally doing it wrong, I kind of probably knew it myself. Right? I'd say fuck off. And I'd be arrogant, I'd be annoyed, I'd be pissed at them. But now, because I've sort of learned to apply it, learned to implement, learned to listen, learned to evaluate what people say, learned to take it in and learned to act on it, that you become used to doing it. You seek out the almost advice and you become more resilient to it. And you almost learn who to pick from to get advice and who not to, right? And the way in which people say it, what is going to be most beneficial? You have 2 people. One person says you're shit. One person says, oh, this wasn't good because of this. This is how I would do it so that you can get this. This is what to do, right? So you know how to listen to them. You sort of become able to weed through the chaff, and find the great knowledge and the best knowledge in order to implement it to get the best results. And as a result of this, you will just get fucking exponentially better and find new teachers and new people who can give you more and more advice until you become who you want to be. And then you can do it to other people. People are on the come up while still obviously learning yourself, because at the end of the day, Learning is a never-ending process, and we're always trying to get better. No matter how old we are, where we are in life, the hustle never ends. Been a good call, 10 minutes. I've been Keelan. Peace.